SEMA 2018. We've got Greg from ODSS, Rawlings Barnes Diesel, Michael from RLC, Josh Griggs from Triple Hard Fab, and we're just gonna sort of BS here for however long we decide to.
Until we get tired of BS.
Do this. We're doing an episode of the Diesel podcast. If you guys want to see the whole thing after we're done here, it will be on dieselroadmag.com. It'll be on iTunes, just about anywhere that you listen to podcasts. We'll also have a copy of it up on our Facebook page for video, as well as YouTube pages. Yeah, a little bit later. That'll be a few days though. But so what's going on, guys?
SEMA 2018.
Yeah.
Good to see everybody here.
Absolutely.
What have you guys been, I guess, seeing at the show so far?
Lots of people, lots of stuff. I haven't got around to check out as much as probably you other guys, but man, there's lots of people here. It looks like a good year.
A lot of cool builds. There's a lot of quality stuff and some not so quality.
There's a lot of junk too.
There is.
We're gonna have to start calling people out on this. You can't bring some of these trucks out here that are junk.
Right.
Like, have some pride in yourself.
Do we call anyone out, or we just let
I
this
haven't
go?
had a chance yet to, but I figured I would today. I'd take some pictures and just call it what it is.
None of them have been featured in Diesel World magazine.
None of them.
No.
Not one.
No. The good ones have, not the bad.
Yeah,
Oh,
the
there you
good
go.
ones
Thank
have.
you. Thank you.
Yeah.
Good clarification. I say I know there's at least 70 or so here that have been.
For sure.
But so what's like the coolest thing you guys have seen?
I'm the old school hot rod guy, so this hot rod alley here is where it's at for me. And there's a lot of cool stuff outside, Jeep and stuff like that, but inside here is kind of where I've been seeing the most cool stuff, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure every Jeep GL that's been produced in the country is here at SEMA this week.
Yeah.
And every Mustang.
And every
Every
Mustang,
Mustang,
definitely.
Every Mustang.
I'm
And
just on
every
sensory overload. Everything looks
first
cool.
time out.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Oh,
This is
yeah.
your
So
first
that is
time.
great. Yeah.
Yep.
Oh yeah, that is crazy.
Just walk, and look.
Yeah, there's lots of looking. Yeah, it's overwhelming. I think, most people don't understand the really the depth of the vendors here. Like they think it's just a convention. You come to one convention hall. They don't realize that there's like literally hundreds or thousands of people vending here. Like, it's almost too much. I don't really know if you could walk every square inch of the show.
I don't
in the
see how you
given
could.
time. I don't know if you could really do it.
Not
Well,
in 4 days.
So this is my 18th year coming. When I started coming, the company did a study, which is, it's an easy study. You just do the math. But there was 2,400 booths, and don't quote me exactly on the numbers, but 2,400 booths, 250,000 people at this show. 2,400 booths. If you came into the show at 9 o'clock when the gates open, and you went to every single booth and spent 4 seconds at every single booth, you'd never see the whole show.
Still couldn't physically do
couldn't
it.
see it. It's simple.
I believe
math,
it.
but
It's insane.
I
I think it's really cool that in the last 4 or 5 years, how the diesel community is so much more represented at SEMA. It was a minority before, but I feel like we're starting to gain some traction. It seems like there's a lot more. Everywhere you look, there's a Super Duty, and I know that it's not every build is for everybody, right? That's part of building it. We don't all agree on styles, and that's what makes the culture so great. It's pretty diverse, but there's definitely some cool stuff, and I think every build's got cool elements. It's whether you like the whole build or not, there's some really neat stuff. The diesel world is definitely represented at SEMA for sure.
I think it's really good that we are getting the opportunity to represent here at SEMA, but I think it's key critical that we push to do the best possible work we can. Some of the trucks that I've seen, they're not finished, and guys are like, well, I just didn't have time to finish it. Well, SEMA's the same week every year. I've been coming for 15 years. You said 18. They've never changed it. So if we're going to plan a build to bring it here next year, let's do it the right way and show up and represent really well. Because you come over to Central Hall and you see these beautiful cars that guys have put hours, thousands of man hours into. They don't see any humor in saying, well, I just couldn't finish it. That drive shaft's missing, or it's leaking oil, or it's this or that. We have to step up our game and also represent very well, since we've been handed this opportunity to come out here. You know?
Do you vote that every lifted vehicle needs a front drive shaft to SEMA?
No, it's
Do you vote
Bluetooth.
for that?
Bluetooth.
Oh, is it?
Bluetooth drive shafts.
I'm not a real
That's-
tech savvy guy, but in my little
convert it
small
to a
world,
two-wheel
you know, a front drive shaft's pretty key critical, you know.
It completes the build nicely.
Yeah.
I think it was funny. I'm going to call Kellen out here. You guys know Kellen Meadows? Was it 4 or 5 years ago? No, his truck is themed with, King shock, so it's blue, but his front drive shaft was blue. And he was putting it on at the show. And I got a photo of him putting it on. I thought it was the funniest thing in the world. Like, oh, that's actually a Bluetooth drive shaft right there.
That's the real deal.
Yeah, it's the real deal. But I mean, okay, everyone talks about SEMA crunch. I know, like, you've built a bunch. You've had your truck here. It's still, everyone procrastinates.
They do.
That's
but
the
I know
problem.
you've gotten your stuff, as far as I know, driven it here,
Yes.
towed with it here. I mean, it's tough for a lot of people. I get it, but you're right. It is every year.
It's the
You
same
guys
week
should
every
plan it
year.
out.
And if you can't do it and show up and represent well, postpone them next year. Wait until you can show up and it's right and it's functioning properly, because of the fact this is the biggest stage in the world for us to have the opportunity to show up and represent. So let's not show up and do it halfway. I'll use my PG thinking on this video right now, or this live feed.
But it's true, and I think it definitely represents the diesel industry well if we do it right and do it 100% rather than cutting corners and showing up with something half done.
Absolutely.
It's hard enough to be taken serious in the industry, especially when you are the minority for the most part. And so it's we have a lot to fight against. So why not do it right and make a good representation?
Yeah.
I agree.
We're a small industry, tight industry, and you're right. It's kind of cool. Like 4 years ago, I think it was, we had hot rods. It's a lot more vintage, hot rods, and Wolder Up was doing a lot of them.
Yes, absolutely.
With diesels in them.
Yes.
That I want to say it was like 4 years ago. And I just remember how epic it was. Just walking in and seeing 25, 30 of these things at the show.
Yeah, I agree.
Pretty cool.
I think it's really neat.
What's up?
It was pretty cool.
Got Paul Cato joining
Well,
us.
what's happening, Paul?
Paul Cato's here.
Better late than never.
Your neck stiff? You just so many muscles.
I got nervous when you got behind us.
Let's do it a little, Michael. That's Chris here. Come on. I'm dressed
You
up
come to
real
the biggest guy
fancy.
sitting at this table and you're like, give me a little room.
Yeah.
You hear this?
Well, you want me to sit on your lap?
If you want to.
Start it. Oh, hell, come on.
Don't worry about the
I
flashlight.
think it's you.
No, you're late.
Better late than never. I mean, it's like my school up. It'll be there in a minute.
We're gonna have 25 people here pretty quick.
Yeah.
No, I think this is my first year here too. So I mean, just walking around to some of the vendors I've talked to so far, I mean, all of them seem really interested in what we're doing against these advances that we've made in the last few years. Just in this last season with ODSS, just the numbers just falling. It's been pretty impressive. And a lot of people are open and receptive to us. And where I've, in the last 3 years, like this is the most receptive when talking to people about diesel motorsports that I've had so far.
Oh,
My
absolutely.
experience.
Absolutely. I think, you look at it in the course of the past 10 years of diesel drag racing, these years right now are the most impressive years to be a part of it. We're seeing more gains than we've ever seen before. Example, Rawlings, and your truck that you guys have built is phenomenal, and you're getting a lot of respect from the gas world for what you're doing. And that goes for all the guys like in the pro mod class, Ben Chatty, Larson Miller, Ryan Milliken, just really pushing the envelope with a door slammer vehicle. And now the gas guys are going, man, this is kind of wild,
We're not doing it in normal diesel fashion.
Yeah.
It's not
Well,
a
I
big
think-
smoky pig
I
going down
think
the track.
Exactly. And I think the biggest representation of that was lights out. I mean, it was
Absolutely.
it blew my mind that when we set up our vehicles there, we had the independent row.
Yes.
And Ron at Suncoast was gracious enough to kind of pull us all together and have us a place there. and it blew my mind. The gas guys, because it's 40, 50,000 people, whatever it is, and they're all all gas guys. And
It was
there's
awesome.
1 or 2 diesel people at that, and they walk up and it's like they take a second look. They're
Like,
oh
wait a
wow,
minute.
that doesn't where the spark plugs.
Yeah,
you know?
that
Oh, it
doesn't
was
look terrible,
awesome.
right?
And it was pretty amazing to see the folks that poured out just to see the vehicles and really receptive. And they were like, man, you guys should be out here racing.
Yes,
They are.
I was
and it's
very
cool 'cause
humbled.
You guys are going
Man.
like lights out and stuff, and like me and Ben went out to Outlaw Armageddon, and they thought it was cool. I mean, anytime you show up with a truck that's not a smoky pig, it doesn't leak, it doesn't do anything a diesel should do, and then you keep up with them, they're like, wait a minute, one that Tony Rizzi too, and only come out. I mean, that thing flies.
It's
So, I mean,
impressive. I think it's
ridiculous.
definitely the future, and I think we're getting there. We're getting a lot of respect. Those guys expect us to go as fast as we did, as quick as we did, and diesel
it's
motorsports
really
is
impressive.
really the last 2 years is when it's really taken off. It's always been there. It's always been doing really well, but the technology is now there, and and we're doing
Look
things
at
we
the
never
last
thought was possible. Just
three
this
and a
season.
half-ish years ago, let's say 3 years ago, like we have an index class, what used to be roughly Pro Street.
Yeah, for sure.
You got it.
Like,
I mean, that
it's
was
ridiculous.
it. 590. I can remember watching the first trucks ever go in the
Yeah,
90s.
they're like, wow,
and I
there's
was like,
5 in front.
wow, how'd they do that? You
Yeah.
know. So absolutely the best time in the diesel racing history, or at least in my racing history, that getting to see everybody come up and
Yeah, for sure.
and do these things that are just like, damn, that's impressive.
It's exciting.
Yeah.
It's exciting.
What do you guys think caused that in the last 2 years? I mean, I've noticed the same thing, but obviously I have. What caused that in 2 years? I mean, last year, NHRA, SCI, their regulations, we literally could not go. I mean, Levon should have gotten kicked off the track at UCC because he ran below what he was certified for. And then the next year, it's essentially the same thing again, where we've surpassed. I mean, what has caused this jump in 2 years? What do you guys think?
I think it's a great topic too. We should circle back around to the fact that we're not going to continue to push envelope unless SFI and others catch back up with us, because that's really a big issue. Everybody's wanting to build trucks to go faster and push the envelope, but until we get that regulation, we can't do it safely. And as an organization or a sanctioning body, the ODSS, we can't allow it because it's a liability that's in this, so it's a big deal. With that being said, I think technology is the biggest pusher. I think diesel has become more mainstream, and companies have realized, there is a market there, and it's not just, Bubba and his 6 buddies that want to haul a horse. It's guys that really want to do something different.
Yeah.
I'm older than most of these guys, and the car culture as a whole, it always goes through these phases. It was import at one time, it was Mustangs at one time, it goes through these phases. And I think diesel is definitely, I've been doing it or been in it since 2000 when I bought my first truck, but it's definitely evolved a lot every year, and I think it's mainstream, and it's that technology catching up with it, and of course shops that are willing to push that limit.
You say import.
I'm not hating.
No, I'm not hating either.
I had
but-
one.
Who
I can't
doesn't?
lie.
Yeah, I mean, in our age
That's where I
bracket, we
started
all
racing.
remember that,
It's almost,
and it was huge.
I hate saying this.
Yeah.
Well, I don't hate. I kind of hate saying it. We're imports.
But really,
we're the early
We are,
90s,
yeah,
late
yeah,
90s,
you're
early
right.
2000s imports again.
Yeah.
But I'd like to see, and we joke about the import stuff, which it's part of car culture. It's just like
absolutely.
every other muscle car in here. And I remember back in the day, the second year of the Nopi Nationals. I remember going to the first year, and the second year that thing blew up.
Yes.
I mean, that event was mad, and Atlanta was ridiculous.
Sure.
And I think we're on the verge of doing the same thing in the diesel industry. I think the fans can finally come out and see something that's worth coming to watch.
Well, we're drawing other guys that you see the industry. We're going pro mod. You're gonna start seeing cars.
Yeah,
I mean,
for
like
sure.
I'm already looking for a car.
Well, that helps us
Like,
cross.
we're just skipping one whole
Yeah,
class.
and that helps us. That helps us
straight
cross
pro mods.
over for sure. But I think the fans, it's a better experience for the fans than what it has been in the past. I know I went to my first few diesel events, and it was just, like a big party, and there was a couple of guys running. and that was
Exactly.
about it.
Yeah.
But now it's like we're like professional motorsports. You go in the pits and you can go see the drivers, autographs, merchandise, whatever, and things are run. Thanks to Greg and ODSS, things are run orderly and like they're supposed to be. So it's a show.
like an actual event.
Like an actual event. I mean,
You know,
we're
you guys
looking at doing
spend
some
really
cool
good,
stuff
too.
next year. We're
Like
looking
me
for-
as an newcomer coming into it, it was easy to get involved in it. And it's like a big family there.
It is.
That's kind of the whole goal, I think, or at least amongst us, is we wanted everybody to be welcomed, and whatever we can do to help each other grow and go faster and do better and improve safety.
Absolutely.
You know,
It's
as
still
growth, you're
chaos,
asking.
but it's an organized chaos that you still know what's going on as a driver to get your stuff together.
Yeah, for sure.
Well,
You
you were
got
asking
time.
why we think it was advancing. I think it's been in the last 2 or 3 years, guys realize like, okay, this big dumb heavy truck's not going to get it done. Like, we got to lose weight. So I mean, let's say SFI. So we'll give you some more bars, but like that's it. Right, you're done. You got to get lighter. So then you have Rawlings, the S10 and Ryan. Lighter weight vehicles, by nature, you're going to go faster. We make a ton of power. Power is not really a problem for us. I don't think.
It is.
It's getting into the
We're
ground.
sorry.
Don't hate on us. It's 4 guys.
Right. But it's actually been really cool to watch, especially these guys. I mean, like you said, how many tenths did it drop from the beginning to the end? It was like 80s to 50s.
80s to 50s.
3 tenths. I mean, like
in one season.
That's not normal in a season.
No.
Not for a field.
Yeah, it was like
Wait,
the
so
whole
very-
field was moving like as a group down. It wasn't just one person. I mean, it was like, dude. I mean, they were just trading spots all
Yeah,
year.
just trading back and forth, just trading punches, and it was awesome to watch.
Yeah.
80s to 50s. What?
Pro
Pro
mod.
mod.
Pro mod.
480s to
480s.
Yeah, I mean,
480s,
we started
yeah.
off the season with Ben setting the record at 478, and then I mean, everybody just kept getting faster and faster.
Like literally every event almost. I don't
And
know.
then
it was almost
Florida
done.
is where the gauntlet just came off, and everybody was just balls out, and just, oh, here's a new record. Oh, here's a new record. Oh, here's a new record. I mean, it was just awesome.
Like you already had the social media stuff made. You just had to put a plug picture in. Like,
Yeah.
and
It was
change the
it's
name.
really interesting. Back in the day, Pro Street was the premier class. I mean, that's what everybody wanted to race. And then because of SFI, for the most part, it's turned into an index class because you can't go so fast. And so, naturally, we're all competitors. We're all friends, but we're all competitors. And you want to go faster, but you can't because of the cert. And the chassis certs are holding people back. And so naturally, the guys that really want to go fast and go faster are now moving down to Pro Mod. Until that continues to get pushed. Which what's that going to be in another couple of years?
Yeah. Well, think about it. A few years ago, 5 years ago, how many Pro Mods were there? 3. Yeah. How many rails were there? 3. Yeah, so I'm sure that has a lot to do with it too. Is now we have more cars, guys have more competition, more reason to step up their game, and it just ramped up exponentially because
It's really cool. It's a big
it would have
deal.
been a one-car class. Who cares? You're gonna win.
Yeah.
When someone beats you, it's all right. Now I gotta.
You're literally
What am I going to
earning
do
it
the
now.
next couple of weeks to go faster?
So it wasn't just one thing that caused it. It's everything.
I agree.
Did you race ODSS before the 590 class this year?
No.
And so since this is kind of new for us too, what did you think, what made you build a truck for that class and come out and race?
Well, I started off as a puller. I had a pulling truck, and it was just seemed like a drama-filled organization. Rules changed on you a lot, and you'd go to do something, and then you'd have the general public, well, he's cheating, he shouldn't be in this class, and I was like, I'm tired of it. So I sold that truck and bought this truck. It was pretty much turnkey. We had to back half it and do a good bit of work to it, but I started off back to the import stuff. Back when I was younger, I raced every weekend in the little jamming gears, loved racing. I said, we're going to go back to it. And in my shop, we had some drag trucks, and I just felt like it would be good for me, business-wise, to get into drag racing. And I kind of moved in, and everything was a smooth transition. Like I said, got the license and come in, and everybody was friendly and talkative, helped with stuff. Like Shad was our first event, came in third there, and as soon as we got done, Levon come over and started talking to us about, might want to look at this, look at that, and we made the changes and didn't make it down to Florida because we decided to do a back half, and then that hurricane came through, so we couldn't make it, and showed up down at Rudy's with a fresh new truck, and it turned around and winded up winning it.
That's awesome.
That is awesome.
That's kind of the thing with what we wanted. We wanted to bring in some new guys and some that can afford that Pro Street $250,000 build truck and be able to run and compete. We had 15 competitors in a brand new class,
I think with the exception of Rick winning twice, I think it was a different winner every week.
Yeah, it's really competitive. It's a good field.
And
I think it's going to grow.
I think that class will keep growing because it is.
I think next
very
year
You see
it's
a lot
going
of
to be
these
big.
670 guys go, hey, I got something that grows. Like Artie, for example, Artie's already, I mean, he's making plans, he's making moves. He's going to be 590 next year.
Well, it's a progression. It gives everybody a chance to move up a
there's not that
class.
big jump.
Yeah,
And it's a very competitive class that has a lot of driver involvement in it because in an index,
And you
basically.
still got to run
with
on
McCoy.
Yeah.
yeah. We don't have enough time to talk about McCoy.
But
And he's
It's-
tired of changing the knock here.
it's a good entry-level class for the newcomer that if you sit back and listen to the seasoned vets and stuff, you can learn a lot of helpful information. You just
You don't have it. It's not a slow vehicle.
No.
Definitely not. 590.
Five anything.
It's
Yeah, you take that, like we show up and like we're running 5.9s, we're like, we're running index classes, whatever. Like it's blah to us. You know what I mean? Like it's still fun, but like I'm like, Pro Streets, look at them, they're cool. But then you take it to a local track and test, and like everybody's like, what in the heck was that?
yeah,
Exactly.
Yeah.
that's like my first pass down there where I got a local track back on a quarter mile trying to get my license and stuff and wind it up. They didn't know if it would go fast enough, so they lined me up against the old muscle car. And we come out the hole, next thing I know, I'm a half a track ahead of them. They're like, where'd that thing come from?
Shocked
get
them
that
all.
look a lot.
Yeah, first pass off the trailer went 9:55. Very first pass, and like, yeah, you need to take and do some licensing. You can't run with nobody else again.
Yeah, sure. It's pretty awesome.
It's a good problem to have.
My truck's only running high 12s, low 13s, but I love going. There's not much diesel in Southern California. There really isn't, sadly. But one of the things I love is just going to my 8th mile track every Thursday night and watching the Corvette guys get pissed off. The SRT8s getting pissed off.
They get so aggravated.
Oh, and they leave. I mean, they'll park their car behind me and just walk to the back.
Yeah.
And they just walk to the back of the stage.
You
And I
know,
just sit there. It's like, yeah. It's
So
great.
you're in Southern Cal, right?
I'm in LA. Yeah.
Okay, so there's
Don't hold
this
it
new
against
build
him.
project.
He's
Well,
a good
I mean,
guy. Don't hold it
he's a
against
good guy,
him.
but I mean,
No,
So we
got
gotta
a
figure
lot
out
of
how to
Western roots.
build you a Prius with a diesel engine in it.
Did you take my idea?
Like,
It's doable.
You know, I've been talking about this for years.
oh no kidding!
I
Let's
just
pull the
found
trigger.
one. I want to put a 4BT in it.
Yeah.
500 horse, spray the crap out of it, but keep it looking as stock as we can possibly keep it
Yes.
looking. Cut the stock wheels in half, widen them, tub the rear, 4-link it. I actually found a 2010 Prius, actually a Jason Sands, a friend of mine.
Yes.
Found, you guys know Sands.
He was just here.
Yeah,
He was wandering around. Yeah.
He found one, sent it to me. So I actually did a call like 4 years ago about this, saying I am going to do it. I just haven't been able to do it. But he found a 2010 that needed a battery, $1,500.
That's it right there.
Done.
That is
Imagine
it.
in LA, just
Yes.
I mean, all the smog. You don't have to smog a Prius. You know what?
No
After
kidding.
a certain year, you don't have to smog it. So I could
so much.
actually drive it on the street.
Get you one of those little coexist stickers, put on the back window, you know,
Yeah,
peace and love.
Exactly.
That's gonna be it.
I just thought it'd be hilarious. I know we don't want to do smoke, but I still would turn the pump all the way up on that. Just go down the quarter mile just to see. I don't know. I think that's hilarious.
It'd be awesome to do.
Yeah.
I mean, it really would.
Yeah.
If they ride around LA.
What's that?
Hurry up and do it, or we're gonna steal your idea.
Yes.
Well, I heard that Sparks was building one
is he?
as well. I did the numbers. It's really only going to cost about $10,000 to get 4BT and the
Seems
transit.
like an article in Diesel World right now.
Do you want to?
Builder's
we
Guide.
doing it at Rudy's or?
Builder,
are we doing
Builder's
this?
Guide.
Yeah.
Builder's Guide.
How to make
Diesel
your
Builder's
Prius
Guide.
not suck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that's it. Right
It's-
there.
It's
think all
for me,
CS
it's
sponsor.
lacking of the place to do it.
I mean, you
Yeah,
won't,
we're
you
all
won't have
set.
any,
We can
you won't have
afford
any
that.
cold start cranking issues on those batteries.
Any what?
Any cold start cranking issues.
No. That stuff's going.
Crank all day long.
That stuff's heavy. We're getting rid of that.
Oh, okay. That's
Yeah.
plenty of battery though.
Yeah, it would be. But no, that was the thought. Is even if you bought one with good batteries and a good engine, okay, how do you offset the cost? You know, and you can sell the batteries and engine
Absolutely.
for a few thousand. You can get your 4BT out of a bread
Oh,
truck
yeah, for sure.
Yes.
for what you sell the engine in.
Or that little Cummins Repower 2.8.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That'd be the
Because
tip.
common rails are life.
yeah,
And it's lightweight. You know?
yeah. But could you do 10s with it?
I think so.
You think so?
I do.
Yeah?
I do. There's some guys in the industry right now working on making power.
Yeah.
And I think once they've got it figured out, that little engine, based on how much it weighs and the horsepower they're looking to make out of it, it's going to be really rowdy.
That's like the little diesels overseas. You watch the videos of them, they're little 4-cylinders, and they fly.
Absolutely.
Those things are cool.
Yes.
Their power per cubic inch is dumb.
Yes. Well, coming back to imports, though, think about the 4-cylinders and making 600 plus horsepower.
In a 1,200-pound car.
There's no way. You couldn't.
You know,
fit in
surprisingly,
the car. No way. I don't believe it.
a
Can
little
you fit in
Supra.
a Honda
Well, it's
Civic?
got to have
No,
sunroof.
not Honda Civic.
It's got to have a sunroof. It's gotta have
Civic.
open the door.
But I can fit in a smart car. Industrial injection, Bob and Homer, their little smart car. Drive that thing around all the time and actually fit really good.
You know, when
He's
Ryan
lying, they
got
have to
his,
push. Get him in.
when Milliken got his,
Wow.
I looked at him and just laughed. And he's like, choice words, but you know, something new. It fits in my trailer.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Like, think about it. It's an air-conditioned golf cart thing.
Oh,
It's
it's
street legal.
Oh, there were so many of them. down
Anything
there
is better
at,
than
No
Milliken's
Mercy.
old golf cart.
Down at No Mercy, that's all you
I've been
see.
You can almost buy them
Yeah,
cheaper
I know.
than a golf cart.
Yeah.
There was actually more smart cars than Mustangs at South Georgia Motorsport.
That's saying a lot.
That's great.
That's saying a lot.
Close.
It's definitely.
It's going to get to a point where we're going to have to add smart car racing to our lineup.
Oh,
I
yeah.
don't know why we
It's
Start
a-
putting
it's-
booster motors in them.
Push vehicle.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to have to.
We should.
Or doing the dirt drags, you know,
There you go.
something like that.
Yeah, but we'll just pull them. We'll just pull them.
Honey for Horsepower used to do rental car drags. And so I used to love that.
That's
I'd take
what
a
I'm
rental car
talking
idea,
about.
I'd pull the traction control fuse and
Light off with it.
just redline the thing at the light and let off. I don't care if it wasn't making traction or not. You know? It's
Just
fun.
make sure you get the LDW, the
Oh,
liability insurance, and then if you roll it, you can stand on the key, say, "Hey, have a
Is
good
it
day."
bad that you know all the terms for that?
Oh yeah, because that's. I mean, like,
Seems
Research been there,
yeah,
done that.
yeah. I'm hard on rental cars.
There's a phrase
Yeah.
that the guys at ATP Trucks
Yeah.
caught in first dyno event I went to after signing up for Diesel. Hope my boss is on watching this. Had a Toyota Camry,
chances are.
and we sprayed it on the dyno.
Yes.
It made 90% more horsepower. It was like 60 to like 120 horse. And so all the guys, they're like, "Oh, the Camry did it. You can do it." You go back now, they're still saying the Camry did it. You can do it. After that, I got insurance from then on out. I should have got it then.
They should look into getting ODSS sponsored by a nitrous company of some sort, being as like literally almost everyone's running now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a lot of potential out there, that's for sure. That's why we were talking earlier. Just a lot of open conversations, a lot of people more receptive this year.
Absolutely.
It's been good.
A lot of cool things happening.
A lot of cool things.
So let's talk about
2019
racing.
sales.
Let's talk about racing. Enough about Dodge stuff and Prius stuff. Let's talk about racing. So, you guys
Well,
ready?
usually it's not synonymous with Ford usually.
Well, I mean, I know, but I'm faster than you are, so it might.
I mean,
So
there we
anyway,
go. There we go. There we go.
so anyway, seriously, let's talk about racing. So everybody excited for 19? Anything cool in the works that you care to share, or what? I think the most exciting thing for me right now is the fact that we get to race at UCC, which I think is a great partnership, if you will.
That's going to be awesome.
It's going to be some great exposure
Yes.
for our industry. Tons of vendors there, a lot of people there. It's going to be great. The 8-person shootout.
8-person shootout, something that James and Chris graciously extended the arm out there to try to put something together, and I think it's going to be great. And so far, it's been an awesome reception from a lot of different people, and it's going to put ODSS and UCC kind of on the map, and I think it's going to be huge. Invitation only. We got 8 guys that are going to shoot out for a pretty good chunk of money. Don't
Have we
everything
released?
finalized yet.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. We released how much it is yet?
It'll be
It's
worthwhile.
substantial.
It'd be
Yeah.
well worthwhile.
Well worthwhile. So it's definitely going to add to the show of UCC, and we appreciate them extending the arm out to let us come on board. I think it's going to be good for us.
Be like a $500 pot.
Yeah, 500 to split.
The side
Guys.
bets, that's where
Side
it's at.
bets, yeah.
Be at the start line with your $100 bills betting.
Yeah.
I think it's really cool. I think it brings a lot of exposure to ODSS, which is great. We've got to have that sanctioned body. We got to have a place to race. I think that's the biggest long-term concern I see is that there are guys that put on events here and there that are smaller. But let's just face it. As much as I love to support those events, every event starts somewhere, right?
Yeah,
but
absolutely.
at the end of the day, I know for us, it's hard for us to take our team and our whole racing operation to go to a race that you win $500, or that has even furthermore that only has 500 or 600 people there. It just doesn't make sense for us to go. We try to support it, but it just doesn't make sense. So we need a sanctioning body to help promote the sport and to help organize the races and hopefully get the fans out there. And that's what it's all about. It helps not only the businesses, which is the big part of it, but all these extra attendees help us with sponsorships. It's hard to get sponsorships from manufacturers when there aren't people watching what you're doing.
Absolutely.
So I think that's a big part of it. I think it's cool to see folks cross over.
Well, I think that's why ODSS has been so popular. Is 'cause they do a really good job listening to the racers who also happen to be the vendors who say, hey, this is what we see, is what we think we need, and they're really receptive to that.
I think a lot of people, guys just racing their pickup truck, their 500 horse pickup truck, something like that, probably don't understand how much it really costs to race when you're at the levels you guys are at. It's every single pass has a cost to that pass, and that pass can be $1,000 pass.
Yes.
So when it's a 500, I was totally kidding about the 500, so I brought that up. But
it's true.
If it's a $500 pot, you're making 4 passes. You spent $4,000 because you only have so many passes on that trans, only so many passes on the turbos. It's.
That's exactly right.
Even like
pass
Pro
can
Mod,
be
it's
expensive.
$3,000, for most of the events is what it pays for the win. Even that is great as it is to have something. It's don't get me
trying to
wrong.
make
None of
money
us are getting
racing,
rich
you're not racing
off of the $3,000. It takes a lot more than that to race with it.
Racing for fun, but at the same time, it's it's got to get offset at some
For
time,
us, it's people. It's exposure for us. That's what we look for. We don't do any marketing. We don't do any advertising. It's just racing.
That's
what we
noticed.
do. And sorry, magazine guy. But actually, we did advertise this month. But racing's a big deal, and for us, it's a really big deal. So we definitely go the extra mile and try to make the right decisions on where to go. I think it's great what folks are doing for the sport, but I'm hoping that we continue moving in that direction, continue to grow and move forward.
We've got a couple new events next year to add to the series. So we've got a new race going to be sponsored by Fire Funk at Killcare Raceway in Ohio. And then just got the signature on Virginia Motorsports Park. So that's going to be a huge venue.
That's going to be a lot of fun.
So I'm pretty excited about the changes we're making this year.
Two more races next year.
Yes, sir.
Well, one
Yay,
of them
more
is
points.
one of them is taking the place of one.
One of them,
So there won't be a TS.
TS, the Ohio race is taking place at the TS race.
Any ideas to move west, or is that something that we want to talk about at a different date?
Probably do a separate podcast.
Yeah.
We'll talk about that
It's
a little bit later.
definitely something that I think interests us. I don't want to speak, but since there is some ownership of ODSS here, I don't want to overstep my bounds. But I think there's definitely some interest. We'd love to attract some of those guys to come race with us. I think it comes down to logistics. We don't want to lose our core racers to move west if they can't go. Hurt them for points. I'd like to do something like Supercross does. We have an east and west, and then have a shootout at the end of the year. That's long term. It takes some time to put that in place, and I think that'd be a really, really cool thing to do. Like do an East Coast run, West Coast run, and then do an East versus West Coast at a final.
Yeah, do something.
Yes.
Something in Missouri, or something a little more central.
That lightens the burden on the East Coast guys as well as the West Coast guys, but it gives everybody a place to
You don't have to
go.
worry about traveling that 20 hours, 24 hours.
Like
30
me
hours.
as a small shop, getting away from the shop, shutting it down for, say, a week to travel all the way across the United States.
It's hard. It's really
expensive.
hard. You got loss of income at the business, plus what it costs you just to travel. So, and as far as
burn the money at that point.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and then if the unfortunate happens and you break it while you're there, then you got a lot of money to spend when you get back.
And a long ride home.
Yes.
It's true. Definitely something to look at, though.
So I'm excited for it. It's been fun to see how much ODS has just grown. Shoot, even just last year.
Last year in general, it's just, the change was crazy.
2017 to 2018, we had 321 different competitors for all classes. 2018 end of year, we had 562 different competitors for all classes.
Oh, it's exciting.
So I mean,
it's
that's,
so exciting.
that's crazy.
But you know, I think the one big key to ODSS compared to other series is it's racers built. It's a race system built by racers, right? Everybody that's a part of it races, and we try to look at it from a racer standpoint. Like, hey, how would this help us and make our lives easier? Where you see the payouts being higher, the races structured in a format that it doesn't kill the shop by having to leave this weekend and then be gone again next weekend to go to a race.
Yeah,
you know,
definitely
and
being
that
spread
plays a
out
major
a month
part for all
apart
of us.
helps.
Well, I mean, the hope is one day it'll get to the point where it's busy enough and it can justify, I think, to where there can be a race every weekend. But just hopefully the industry gets that big. I mean, I totally know what you mean right now, but I'm saying if it gets that big, it will make sense for you to have a race team going around.
Absolutely.
If that makes sense.
You know, to get to that point, it's going to take a lot of major sponsors getting involved.
Yes.
Big companies, and I'm not talking about bad about any smaller company, but I mean we're going to have to look for the major guys, the manufacturers to get behind it. You look at NHRA and look at the manufacturers that support that racing program. You know, they're not working with $100,000 budget. They're working with millions upon millions budgets. And once we get to that level, then I think it will change the dynamics, and it'll change also the payouts. It'll change everything. You know.
I think it'd be cool to be, you know, to have maybe a couple NHRA national events and do like a fill, you know, race. Have some diesel guys come in and compete and do.
Absolutely.
I think that'd be really neat to show the world what we can do on a platform like that.
I've looked into that a little bit, as I know some of you guys have as well. I think it's entirely possible in the next several years.
I think it's getting closer than further away based on the conversations we've had at that opportunity coming up. And it's like, you know, going back to UCC and having this opportunity to go race there, you know, that is a great crowd. They have done a phenomenal job at growing that event, and that's going to align us to get in front of a lot more people than we do on any normal given event.
Right.
You know, so I'm looking forward to it. And then add our schedule into it. Your race is the week before
UCC.
Is it before right there?
Yeah.
Okay, so it's going to be a little tough for us, but we'll pull it together for that.
I think it's good. It's tough like that. It's tough for scheduling. Everybody, you know, is trying to fit a gap that's needed in that area. It's tough. Tracks are tough to schedule it too. You know, spring and the fall are hard times. UCC's worked great with us. You know, they've always communicated with us. It's tough being the week before like that. I know it's tough on people, but so far it's worked out well. We only had a couple of competitors last year that didn't come because of that. It was only a couple, wasn't many. I mean, look at what Levon did. I mean, defending champion, and he comes out and gives it his all and races Pro Street because he's got a point situation with ODSS, and then is at UCC the next week.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I think if those guys can do it and still win the UCC, I don't think many people have an excuse.
No.
It amazes me how well he's kind of dominated that event every year.
He's a very
Vouch
organized
coming from that
individual.
company. I can tell you how that 2 to 3 week period right there specifically goes, and it's a cluster.
It's crazy, I'm sure.
Like all the planning happens during the winter, and then those Rudy's to UCC and like the whole event is it's bordering on a hot mess, and those guys are insane. Like I was there for a while, but even now it's just ridiculous. Their teamwork that they put in to make it happen. It's no one person. It's the whole
Until 4 or 5 in the morning, the entire shop.
Yeah,
Yes.
you know?
No
just
sleep.
not up till it's just don't even sleep.
Yeah.
So we're all friends with Levon.
Yeah.
So what's everybody's prediction on UCC? Do you think the reign of the king is over?
I think it's too early.
I can tell you right now that he has no plans of losing.
Yeah, that's for sure.
And
Did anybody see any weakness in his year in Pro Street? You know, he struggled a little bit, I felt like, at ODSS.
Yeah, that was.
It's
That
a
was
different
just
year for him. I'm used to him just dominating every
I think it
single
was.
race.
I think they used this year because they had the S10. I think they were focusing on the S10 and testing on the Pro Street truck. with new
yeah,
things.
more R&D
Granted,
for it.
Granted, he went fast
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely.
Hit our event.
James just texted me too. Go figure.
Really?
His ears are burning. We're
Yeah,
talking
I'm
about
sure.
UCC.
I'm sure. But I think it's great to see what those guys have done. You know, I think Levon being a friend, I'd love to see somebody else win. I think for the fans, I think it gets, you know, you look at NASCAR. I mean, there's only really been one.
People start
repeat
disliking the person who
champion.
wins a bunch in a row.
You see John Force win every single time. You know what? Actually, Monster Jam's a great
There you go.
example
Yeah,
of that.
you're right.
You see Gravedigger win every single time. I don't know, it gets kind of boring for me.
Speaking of Greg Digger,
Yeah.
so we're looking at doing a mega truck race at our fall race with Dennis Anderson, and
Kingsway, whatever it is.
I really want to call out Sparks and make him build something to come race Dennis Anderson in the fall. But
Too bad he can't take Brodozer because it's a Feld vehicle.
it's true.
You know, but that'd be pretty
That
cool.
would be pretty cool.
That
But
would
yeah,
be
we're
right.
going to do something different in the fall for our, instead of doing a sled building, we're going to do something different.
Yeah.
What? No trailer racing?
No trailer racing, I don't think.
Oh man,
No more loud
I'm not
noise
coming to your
in the
event
dirt.
anymore. Jeez.
Yeah,
I'm just kidding.
It's interesting talking
That'd be
about
fun.
diesel.
Demolition of trailers.
I don't know about regionally, but I feel like sled, you know, pulling in general, the popularity has decreased while the drag racing used to be like, you know, used to be the back seat. Now it's like the front seat. Sled pulling's like the back seat. So I think it's been interesting to see that this year.
Especially on the main stages like ODSS and stuff like that.
I
Obviously,
just-
there's
you know-
point leagues and stuff, but that's not a big nationwide event. You know?
2018 was a big question mark for us because we dropped sled pulling, and a lot of guys said, "Oh, the event will tank. It's going to go
The
bad."
numbers drop.
I think
No,
it's
our
longer
numbers
than
went
that.
up.
That's probably just
Yeah.
I think
better.
it was a great event.
Yeah.
It
That track's
proved our
great, too.
thinking. Yeah,
Well,
the guys at Crossville Dragway, I mean,
So great to see.
have done really well with it. But you know, I definitely don't think we have to have sled pulling to put on a good event.
It's
I
nothing
think-
against those guys. I think it's a
Yeah.
great.
Yeah.
It's a great sport. I just think it's like any other motorsports. It's just we're seeing a shift. You know, you're just seeing that shift.
That and the other big upcoming thing, me myself, I don't like it, but dirt drags for diesels.
Yeah.
It's like racing on a hardwood floor with socks, but if that's your
That's
thing,
about the best description I've ever heard of that.
We
That's
actually
pretty
do that
good.
at other tracks. I mean, we do that on the pavement sometimes.
Yeah, no kidding, right?
It's
Yeah.
starting to get big on the West Coast.
Yeah, it
it's
is.
Dirt drag.
big
Or
back
west of
home.
Mississippi,
Like
I guess.
I'm part of an organization that we put on like a Valley Diesel Days back home where we do a dyno and a dirt drags and a sled pull, and by far competitor wise you have way more trucks dirt dragging. It'll be 50, 60 trucks that sign up the dirt drag. You wind up like 20 or 30 on the dyno, and you show up and say you have the 2.6 class and like 2 trucks show up. Nobody
Are
wants
they
to watch
just scared of getting on a track? I mean, like,
that. No, it's just
I don't understand it because if you ever done dirt drags, you know it beats the crap out of a truck. Like,
It's easy on drive lines, but it beats everything
yeah,
else.
I mean, it literally will
transmissions.
shake everything apart.
the transmissions take a beating in it because
Yeah.
it's a hot lap kind of thing. They just
Hey.
run,
Exactly.
and don't have a chance to cool anything down. But people love it. And
For some
it-
reason, people are actually, it seems like they're less scared to,
Yeah.
like, to beat the crap out of their truck on the dirt. It's like, well, racing the drag strip, I'll break it.
Yeah,
It's
I
that
know, but
logic.
doesn't care a bit to go out there and
Like, yeah, sure, go ahead and go shock load the entire drive line like 20 times a night. That's great.
yeah,
It's
200
not
feet
even
of
It's a
it.
good thing my dad doesn't have Facebook, so he won't ever find this out. But the first night that I had my license, he let me drive his K5 Blazer, and I figured sand wouldn't hurt it either.
Yeah.
It did.
Yeah.
It did. And I had to get towed home and towed out, and then I had to go wash it. You know, the whole story, and he never found out. Good thing he
Must
doesn't
have
have
done a good job
Facebook
cleaning it.
now. I know, right? But I don't know if dirt and sand is any better on the vehicle, but
No.
See, and
it sounds fun.
And then you have to clean it. Like,
I
go
guess
down the drag strip, it's great. It's still clean.
I guess I was ignorant, right, or something, but I'm thinking of traction braking things.
Well, that's true.
So,
I mean, yeah, I guess that makes sense.
The lack of
I
traction.
know with us, less traction always breaks things.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, because they're going to over-spool stuff or spit sideways. You don't know anything about
Also for
about that,
problems.
you know?
No. I stay away from walls.
Give
Except
me
for a
Wally
Dalton's
Award.
track. Except for a Dalton's track.
Hey, I didn't hold a gun to your head and make you go down the truck.
I think it's got. I think he made
Well,
me.
according, I mean, he's got a new name at their shop. It's Rawlings
Rawlings
Barnes.
Yep, from Rawlings.
Really?
Yeah,
Rawlings.
there's some great memes going around from I love it, man.
I'm
There's
actually
always
going to talk
bench
to Amy
racers
about
in every
making
group.
the
You know
cards
how it
again
is.
for him and just misspelling it a little bit.
All right, so everyone who's listening to this, it's now Rawlings
Rawlings.
Barnes.
Yep.
Rawlings
okay.
Rawlings Barnes.
No more Rawlings.
Put that on the truck.
There's memes. I got great memes.
Yeah.
One of my former employees made some. It was
Yeah.
great. That was great. I love it. I'm
Aaron was,
gonna make
tell-
t-shirts.
Aaron was telling me about the new wrap. He said, "Man, it looks really good. You better keep it out. Keep it out." I said, "I ain't even running no more." He said, "No, Wallings, you're running it. Just make sure the wrap stays pretty." What the wall?
It's always the
Yeah, I
way.
mean, there's not.
It's great.
So what was that?
Which time? I'm just kidding. So this year, it just happened to be at Mike's track. It had nothing to do with Mike's track. We lifted a head. We lifted the passenger side head. I can't remember what it was, 100 feet out, or whatever it was, 150 foot out. And there's just nothing. There's nothing you can do to save that. I mean, I don't care how good of a driver you think you are. Frank Hawley I respect Frank. He licensed me for my VCT license, and both times I sent him videos of my crash and said, what could I have done different? Because I want to learn. If I made a mistake, I want to learn. And when I sent him the video of the crash this year, I mean, there's nothing you can do.
Yeah.
So you're not coming back from that.
It drove that direction so hard.
It went fast. Luckily, it didn't hurt other than cosmetic. It didn't hurt the truck, really. It was our chassis was built really good. It's been through 2 now and really not hurt anything.
So essentially, you lifted a head,
Lift the
put some
head,
oil under the tire.
yeah, under the tire.
That's it.
and save it. So out of that, realistically, at the speeds we're going, I really don't feel like any of us should be running a wet block anyway. I mean, if you look at the gas world, you don't. At the speeds we're going, you don't see guys running wet blocks.
Right.
So out of that, we decided to go ahead and move to a dry block.
Okay.
So we run 100% dry now. We ran the rest of the season with no issues whatsoever with that. We don't even run intercooler anymore. So we're excited where we are now.
Because you're running the dry ice.
No,
So
we're not running dry ice
You're not
either.
running dry ice.
Yep. Nathaniel is probably cringing right now because I'm talking about this. But, yeah, we don't run any intercooler whatsoever on our pro modules.
Did you replace that with the chemical
Stuff.
intercooler?
Stuff.
With the stuff.
Bluetooth. Bluetooth.
Yeah, Bluetooth intercooler. Right.
But that's the cool thing about where we are now. So like, back in the day, so to speak, we would modify factory ECMs, and maybe some guys would have race packs, but it was very few. There wasn't a lot of data recording out there. Now we log everything. I mean everything. We can log, my heart rate. I mean, it's crazy the stuff that we can log now. And since we moved to Motec a couple of years ago, that technology has just continued to improve because they weren't really in the diesel motorsports industry. And this kind of forced them to be. So it's been a learning curve, don't get me wrong. We've learned a lot of lessons. But the data shows us everything. So we were able to take a run like that, find out what happened, buy the data, and then improve from it off the data. And that was one of the biggest things. We've been concerned about it for a while. I don't know if you know it or not, but Fords are pretty prone to lifting heads. And realistically, at the levels that we're all running, anything is. I mean, it really is. I mean, we're pushing the boundaries more and more every single week and finding out the weak links. We're finding them out. We spun a carbon fiber drive shaft one time this year. We never thought that would happen. The stuff that breaks, you just never know. But lifting the heads is definitely something that is always a concern of us for guys. And so that's what we learned out of this. Now we're dry, and everything's going great ever since.
So billet heads were part of that change?
No, actually billet heads are going to be part of the 19 change. So prior to me, Aaron had worked on some billet heads in the past. Didn't have good luck with them for several different reasons. One of them is they were running them wet, not running dry, so that was another issue. So we have now, we have 3 sets. We've now redone them, and they're solid. And we'll be running those next year. Hopefully one day we'll have a billet block, but nobody wants to step up to the table in the Ford world and build a billet block.
Right.
I've heard a lot of rumors, but nobody ever really wants to do it.
You got a machine shop, right?
Not like that. But it'd be nice. But so far, we're excited about billet heads for next year. See how it works. Definitely a lot better flow. A lot better flow.
More power, less boost.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Same boost and more power.
Notoriously do not have good flow.
Yes, they don't. They don't. You can pour them all you want.
Yeah.
How about you, Paul? What kind of changes you got planned for 2019?
Stuff.
stuff things.
Not coast from half track. That'll be cool. So I guess go slower. I want to play in Pro Street, but I don't want to work that hard this winter. Just it works. We're lighting it up a little bit, so we turn power down some more. So.
You know, most people, it's an interesting point. Most people think that the slower classes, there's not a lot of thought that goes into them. I watched the 590 guys this year. We just happened to be in the staging lanes when they were there. It blows my mind how much adjustments they're making and try to run that number. It brings me back in cracker racing days. Man, they're brutal about it. You know, I look
changing
at
tunes, changing nitrous setups.
Yes, absolutely. 590 takes a lot to run it.
Yeah, I was concerned at the beginning of the year, like, TS, like 630s. I'm like, wow, this is hard. And then, like, we changed a few things. The next event, like, I did some tests. I was like, okay, 6.0s. And then we went to his. It's like, we did a 590 finally. And then we changed the head and the turbo and showed up the shine and, like, coasted to a 580. And I'm like, whoa, whoops. That's not what I was going for.
No, I think it was a kick in the pants to some people that came out. Thought it would be easy to run. It was a lot more
Rude
of a struggle.
awakening. Absolutely.
You do the math on it and say, okay, I need this much more. Yeah, it doesn't work that way anymore.
It's like Shad was a big learning curve for me. Showed up there right off the trailer, run 601, 602. Like, okay, we're competitive. And then the next day it gets hotter and humider, and I wasn't running any nitrous or anything then. And 620, 630. Like, what changed from yesterday?
And then he races me. And I hadn't quite figured out the pedal game yet at that point.
Well, what did change? Was it your 60 foot's getting worse or better, or
just the hot, humid air changing the power level?
So that's purely what it was. It was the horsepower level. Right.
Their density.
I think the DA and shots is always just, it's weird. I don't know what it is about that part of the country. I think it's with shots, it's TS, like all of those events, the air is just, it's a challenge. And, you know, it's
hot.
Random.
But how is it different from Florida?
Florida's
Florida
real
was
hot.
like extreme hot, and the numbers we saw at Florida were crazy.
Yeah.
So what's different there? It was just as humid as it was in Tahoe.
It was. I think during that time, that month time frame, a lot of guys figured out how to put some more power to it.
I know me, like I said, I put nitrous on my truck for down at Rudy's, and I didn't even get a big hit, like 120 hit, and that instantly made the truck consistent. It ran basically the same every pass. From going from no nitrous, where you know it's cold air going in, to that, making that consistent change helped a lot.
How much did you run? 120 jet?
Yeah, just 120 horsepower.
Yeah, 120 horse set. So like an 090 something like that.
Yeah, it's got a 53 jet in the one stage, and then we got another 53 jet on the second stage. But it's a progressive kit that we're only using about half or a third of the second kit at the other end of the track.
Yeah, I mean, at their event at the end of the season, I went all season with no data logging, and I had a logger, and I was like, oh, information, this is great. Like, it was pretty warm there. I don't know how hot it was. It's upper 80s, right?
Yeah.
I know
like
Thursday was...
Intake air temps on mine with the nitrous that I run, like, at the intake fan was like 55 degrees.
Really?
Inlet, like, into the intake fan.
Yeah, compressed.
Yeah.
And that brings you back to, like, water to air systems. They're phenomenal how they work. They're just heavy.
Yeah. Well, like, I actually measure it. I measure hot side temperature, but it ends up I have it post nitrous. So I'm just measuring basically the amount of nitrous on temperatures, like negative 350 degrees on the cold side, or hot side. It's supposed to be hot side. It's like 50 on the cold side. So we just turn it into refrigerators. All we do, ice, giant ice box.
Are you running just running ice box, or you running dry?
No, it's not. I'm saying it's just air to air.
Yeah.
We just put so much nitrous in it.
Oh, I'm sorry.
We make it a refrigerator.
Of course.
What do you like? Where you go? On tap for 2019.
He's gonna turn that thing up. That's what he's gonna do.
I don't care about the motor,
Something's going to happen.
but what's going to happen with the trans?
Oh,
Are we 48 again, or are we getting with the times and getting the 400?
You know,
I like his idea.
It's so funny you bring that up, because everybody's like, oh, hey, you put a 400 in it. And what I've watched all
Just
season.
for the record, everybody laughed at us when we did 400.
And just for the record,
silly
though,
at the
I've
time.
watched
Now
so
who
many
has
400 failures, though. Multiple races I've watched trucks break with 400s in them. So, where? Where not?
In the gas world?
No.
Oh.
In the diesel world. think how many trucks out there, not naming names, but they know who they are because, well, they had to fix their shit. They had to fix their stuff. You know, so.
You failed, Greg.
Beep.
Yeah, you're supposed to beat me, man. So, you know, that's a really good question, and it's yet to be
You're not going to answer?
determined.
You're not going to answer?
I'm not going to answer. I'm not going to answer.
That was a total redirect. Is what that
Total
was.
redirect.
Yeah, but
He
still,
tiptoed all. I mean,
I do have to say I noticed some failures in 400s multiple times this year that, you know, from camps that said, oh, you can't break a 400, and then they went and broke a 400, and I was like, how about that 48 life?
It's still new, I think. Give it a little bit.
I think the biggest issue with the 400 that I see as a challenge is the money. I think it's a big cost item no matter what you do.
Absolutely.
I like that Johnny put the 400 in his truck.
Yeah.
It's like I had actually just before they came out with it, we got a little, like messenger group we're all in. And I was like, hey, why has nobody done like a 480 or like triple 400? And they're like, well, it's funny you asked that. And then like 3 days later, I'm like, okay, makes sense.
He just did that like
Yeah, he did it
month ago
shy.
or something.
No,
Yeah, it was
Yeah,
a
we were
400
supposed to
too.
run a 400 in our full
Yeah,
drive
that's-
UCC last year.
Yeah.
So we had it. It was already in the truck. We did run UCC, so that kind of stuff. But I think it's a great platform. I think there are other options. We ran a 48 the first year, and I can't say we had bad luck with it. I think it was just the tunability for us and the reliability were the two big issues. It's really not the trans; it's the trans brake. That's really what makes it.
Well, I mean, I get
get really
yeah.
quirky.
On the 400, I think your biggest failure point is generally the sprag, and that's usually a broken part elsewhere that causes it, or you messed up with a burnout, essentially. From my understanding of 400 and how they work, that seems to
Yeah.
We've had great luck with our 400.
Torque converters,
I don't know how
Torque
many
converters in general is-
shafts.
We've got well over 100 passes, and we've not been anything but again, I think it depends on the weight of the truck too. That probably makes a big difference.
Absolutely, the
The
weight
amount
of it,
launch.
how you're applying the power to it. Yeah, because
You guys have
that,
done a really
Dustin's
good
had
job.
really good luck. He's had a couple of years before he really started having issues. I don't think he had any major issues.
Well, like I think he broke the rear end. I think in your race.
Yeah.
I think that fixed the rear end. And generally, when that happens, it's just like it's the weak point. The sprag is the
you got it.
It's essentially meant to do that. So you don't
I
break
think it's
anything
cool to
else.
see the 48s doing what they're doing. Like I said, it's finding that balance point. It's trying to find out where you get the trans brake to work and where you get the shifting to do what it's supposed to do.
Yeah.
And, there's
It's actually been pretty cool seeing the no lockup stuff too.
Yeah,
That's what I was just gonna ask about actually. Yeah. Are you guys doing lockup or anyone no non-lockup?
I do, but
Mine locks as soon as I shift second gear. I flip the switch setting at the line, and as soon as I hit the button and it shifts, it locks.
my logger says I lock at 0.3 seconds.
Well,
I push
You're
the button at the same
special.
time I go wide open.
So I'll lock up the levers right here.
I feel like
Yes.
my
You guys
heart
have
is,
lockup, you just don't use it?
I feel like my heart is burning right now because Nathaniel doesn't want me to tell everything. No, we have lockup.
You use it on the big end, I would assume, or are you still not using it?
I think
No, we have
Okay,
lockup.
all right, I
think
like
that-
it. It's good.
I think
I like it.
one big misunderstanding about lockup and non-lockup that a lot of people have to understand is unless your engine can turn some really good high RPM, non-lockup is very inefficient. Right? If you're turning your engine at 3,500, 4,000 RPMs, non-lockup, you're gonna have a lot of slip.
it's a giant pump.
You got it.
Well, I think that's the difference. Most people don't realize, everybody's like, why don't you do this? We do it in the gas oil. Why don't you do this? We do it in the gas oil. Because we don't turn 6,000, 7,000
Yeah.
RPM.
Exactly.
Well, that's the same
Not for
thing.
long.
You guys said you broke
It can happen.
Exactly.
Just
You
not
broke a carbon shaft that, like, gas guys, like, how? Like, we make a lot, our power is different.
Where
We
the
may not
torque
make
is.
5,000 horsepower, but we make the same torque that you do
All day long.
all day
Yeah.
long. Like, every
And
single
we're heavier.
Yeah.
Double the weight.
Yeah.
double the
It's
torque,
hard
yeah.
to make a diesel truck, diesel car light. The power plants are heavy to start with.
Yeah, you're at a disadvantage of 1,000 pounds of most of them. I don't know what a
Yeah.
Dodge weighs.
A lot. Yeah,
About
it's
1,200
fat.
pounds worth of motor.
So,
Yeah.
I mean, 1,000, 1,200 pounds off the get-go, and you've got gas guys that are running the same speeds as us, and they've got, 2,800 pound cars?
Yes. And turning the RPM so the non-lockup works really efficient. They say, we're only getting 2-3% of slip at 9,000 RPM. We can't do that.
Well, we could do it for a split second.
Yeah, exactly.
For a split setup.
Yeah,
split,
split
yeah.
second. Not even a full pass down the track.
Watch shit fly.
I don't know what you guys run for RPM. I think that's like an interesting subject. I think it's people are so scared of RPM in a diesel, but they probably don't realize
The value.
we're running quite a bit of RPM in most of the trucks. I mean,
Yeah, we
Speed.
I don't know where to
RPM
ship
saves parts.
Yeah, it does. It'll get you off the
People don't
torque
realize
curve.
horsepower is where it's
Yeah.
at. Torque
Like-
brings lots of things.
Like my truck still has a stock block in it with
You-
rods and
will you
pistons.
tell what you guys ship
and
at, or
it's
is that a
a
secret?
1400 horse motor, and it
We're-
can't take
we're in
that,
the
so I shifted
4,000s.
552 to keep the torque out.
Yeah,
I
we
know
don't,
that-
we don't,
that-
we don't turn more than that.
That I'm not sure if it's lockup I hear like half track or if it's the like 2-3 shift. You short shift the crap out of one of those gears. And you drag it way down. I don't know which one it is, but I can hear it every pass. Like, oh,
Yeah,
she likes that.
we don't run a lot of RPMs. The truck works really well in a very, very tight RPM range, and so we work pretty hard to keep it there. We just don't turn a lot of RPMs. There's no need to. And, in our vehicle, like we've just now finally got a valve train that will stand up to some RPMs, but until now we really haven't been able to do that. So.
But just saying, like, so just speak from the ball in here a little bit because I can remember when I was there. You know, the theory was when he built the Pro Street truck, he had the quad cap at 980 or something like that. It's like, why doesn't somebody just put a simple torquey setup in a Pro Street truck? Like, why doesn't that work? Check him out first year and off trailer with 560s with like a boost leak. So then he goes and he fixes it. Now he's goes 530s by the end of the year. And then he comes back next year and then they start breaking some things. They're like, why are we breaking these things? Well, you're making absolute crap ton of torque, like well past what the crankers should be able to take.
Yeah.
Splitting the block down the bottom of the mains and stupid stuff like that. And then they finally go and say, hey, we should maybe shift a little higher. So then they had to look at making power a little differently. They're not still astronomical, RPM, but it's enough that there was another learning curve for them. They had to figure, okay, we need to make power maybe 1,000 RPM higher.
Well, we're able to dial it in now too. Before with the stock ECMs, there was a lot of constraints, and I know you Dodge guys, y'all use like Phillips head screwdriver or something.
Yeah.
So
What'd you say?
Don't you turn some screw to make more power?
That's old 12
No,
bucks.
we had, again, wires.
talking to Justin
Wires are like.
Funny
He's
guy.
associated everybody with a common rail right here with 12 valve guys.
Yeah,
Soon
I
as
guess
that-
McCoy's set there somewhere.
No, well, there's some secret stuff with them too. I think he'll have more wires next year.
But I think that I know for us that's helped our program a lot. Being able to fine tooth, really fine adjust every little thing all the way down the track makes a big difference.
So-
Having that in the boot.
Just thinking about everything you're talking about there, and with the 48-400 swap, what about a Cummins repower?
Would I do it?
You gotta actually go real fast.
No, it'll never happen. It'll never happen. So we are the
Get the
true
screwdriver out.
we are the true brand loyal guys. Aaron built the business on Ford, and on Super Duties at that. I would love to build a car. I'm telling you, man, I would love to build a Mustang and drop our motor in it and go fast and be able to do some other stuff. But we will always, I will say it publicly, we will always, although we may have some other stuff at some point, we will always
Stay
race the
true to
Super
the
Duty,
truck.
and it will always have a Ford motor in it. Look, even when we built this truck, I tried to get him to do an F-150, tried to convince him, and he was like, our customers are Super Duty people. And it's true. And the funny thing is now that we go to places, and they still, I think a lot of people appreciate that it's a Super Duty. I mean, it looks like it's
Yeah, it is funny to say that because I feel like people, that although they think they're cool, you put a Cummins, put a Cummins in a Nova. It's cool, but you still have those guys that are like, come on, man, why would you do that? But then we look, are like, well, it's a great chassis for it.
Well, it's like the Mustang guys put an LS motor in it. I mean, yeah, they go fast, and yeah, it's cool. I would never do it. I don't want.
Oh, an LS?
I don't want to Ford, car with an LS
Mustang?
motor.
Yeah, I mean,
Tarnish one brand with another.
It's like a Duramax and a Ford.
Yeah, but it's it's to each his own. I mean, I think I can definitely respect what the Dodge guys are doing and making a ton of power. I'm sure our truck would be stupid fast if we dropped, industrial motor or whatever. I mean, I'm sure.
That's the thing, industrial, man. They've got it figured out.
yeah.
Cummins. They're making more power than
Look
anybody
at
out
Jared's
in the
truck.
country.
Oh, it's insane.
With leaf
It's
springs
insane.
and Caltrax.
Yeah.
Fastest leaf sprung IFS truck in the country.
It's insane.
I was begging him after the season when they're bouncing down the track. I'm like, please, Ford. He said, we're going to get it. We're going to get it.
They
It was
did.
500. It's like, all right, well, I
They were
guess I.
struggling for a few years. to get the power down, and then just bam, gone right out.
You know, we were fortunate this year to get to work together a lot.
Yeah.
And
Did it help you? I'm just
I'm
just kidding.
Yeah, they did. Bob and Jared, they
They're
came
good
down to the
guys,
shop,
man.
and next thing I know, we picked up 310s. Boom. And then we'd take turns helping each other on each truck. And next thing I know, they're in the 5.0s in that truck. And, you know, it's your race. It was absolutely awesome. We were so excited about it. It's like,
I think it's great guys that they come out and help support us too. You know, I think it's cool that they come all the way
Utah.
I mean, man, and seeing those
Yeah, I feel
guys
like
roll in.
they started helping you, and I feel like your school up and stuff was a lot better.
Yeah, we changed that dynamic, and next thing you know, man, it's been a really good opportunity to work together. And
That's what it's supposed to be like. Everybody working together and helping each other out and pushing the sport together. You know, there's no fun in watching one truck go faster than everybody could ever get there. It's great seeing everybody grow together.
Faster. Were there many classes that was super uneven? It was
I don't
pretty
think
much.
there was.
No, I mean that's one of the things when I was sitting down doing points at the end of the season. I mean, a lot of classes, like first to fifth and sixth place, was like single digits, and that was just great. Even in ET, like ET class, you got guys that are really. This is supposed to be your street truck class. And these guys are following us around on a circuit. That's cool to me. I mean, that
it's
ET
awesome.
class. I mean, that's huge.
And I think if you're going to be a part of ODSS, if you're not willing to help out somebody, either a direct competitor or somebody in another class, you don't need to be in our
Well, that's the thing
organization.
too. So, we're talking about how pro mods people come out to seal. They don't realize that, like, especially for me, I'm like watching the ET and like the the 670 and 770. They were like 7701. I'm like, you guys are ridiculous.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I'm impressed. Like, that's a quick street truck. I'm not impressed with the power, but just like the consistency. These dudes got like double O, triple
There's a bunch of
rights,
those
and they're
guys.
running on the. These guys just go run bracket classes on weekends at their local tracks, and some of them do.
Oh yeah.
And win money.
And yeah,
We
these guys are
win
going
well
out.
on the tracks.
Ryan Riddle, man, all year.
Yeah.
I mean, that was just 770 after
Yeah,
770.
well,
every single race.
Was it at TS? I think it was Landon and Artie. It was like a triple O light to
Yeah.
triple or 001.
Yeah.
What?
Awesome.
Yeah.
You guys are
It
ridiculous.
really is.
Perfect reaction.
Yeah.
So we've been talking for like an hour and a half, and we could probably talk all day. This has been pretty good. I'm glad Adam was able to put it together. But what do you, Greg, with the ODSS? Anything cool you want to say for 19? Anything new we should expect?
Well, I think this was definitely a learning year for us. Going through some growing pains. So I think in the off season we need to get together and kind of go back to the drawing board on some of our classes and just some of the rule changes and stuff like that to accommodate better. And it's a good problem to have, but at the same time, I don't want it to hurt the sport. And I think going back to the drawing board and getting things right, talking to the drivers that are involved and getting everybody's opinion and getting it right. I think that's how we've done it in the past, and how we continue to be successful.
So you got a busy off season.
Yeah, definitely busy off season.
I will say that we appreciate your voice for us as racers. I know it's not always easy, and everybody thinks, why didn't you do this or why didn't you do that? Put yourself in his shoes at a race, and you'll understand the stress.
Make 5 people happy and make 20 mad.
Yeah, it's tough, and so I think it's been great this year to see the change and to see things moving forward. I'm looking forward to the future. I think there's a lot of great things ahead for ODSS and beyond.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So,
Absolutely.
what about you guys? Anything cool to say?
I'm excited
final
to see
words.
2019.
Final words.
Yeah.
And thank you everybody out there that has been supporting ODSS. Like everybody that's watching this, tell your friends thank you for taking the time to come out and be a part of our
Sponsors
organization.
for sure.
Sponsors
are big. Without them, it doesn't happen.
I know I couldn't do a lot with some of the sponsors I got. It's amazing what people stand up and do for you.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and I think that's great. I mean, for the ODSS, what we've helped the racers do is to be recognized. And I think that's a big thing, just like what we're doing here, what media does for us. I think it makes a big difference. Sponsors, they see the value in it now, and they see how many people are going to be watching.
Like I said, like NHRA, you understand maybe you got $1 million programs. A lot of these companies are starting to see the value of the racers.
Yes.
So they're saying, hey, you know what? Here's some parts. Let me help you where I can help you at.
Yeah.
You get several on board.
As the industry grows, they're growing with it. They're realizing,
the value in it.
Right, exactly.
And Adam, thank you for taking the time.
Well, I
Thanks,
think we should turn the tables on Adam.
Oh, really?
Quick because
Yeah.
we would
Oh,
only
that's
be
not
cool to
fair.
do something like that.
Put
So
me on the spot.
we all appreciate Adam and all he does and helping us out in the industry. He's a great voice and a
Thanks,
great
guys.
friend to all of us. Is that all that you're going to say? I can't remember.
Huh?
Is that most of it?
Oh, I have it written down here.
Okay.
Something about I
but,
deserve a raise, and someone needs to build me a race truck. And,
He needs that Prius.
There you go.
Yeah.
He needs that Prius.
and Fabian, that guy right
Oh yeah,
there.
and
awesome.
Fabian.
Fabian's
Yeah,
ridiculous.
Fabian for all
My
he does.
assistant.
There you go. All right. And so, final words, Adam. Tell us the future of the diesel racing industry for next year. What is
Oh,
it?
because I know the future.
Tell us
of the
something.
diesel racing industry.
We're gonna put you on the
You guys
spot.
are
Tell
here.
us something really cool.
Something really cool. I don't know. I'm excited for 19 as well. I mean, just we've said this many times, but just I mean, I've been with Diesel World for 5 years now, and yeah, the last 2-3 years, just watching us grow, watching it grow so quickly.
That's awesome.
I'm excited to see the next 4 or 5 years.
Diesel World at every event you guys can be at. Try to make them all.
Oh yeah, no, we got about 12 people all over the country hitting about every single event we possibly can.
It's a big commitment. It's really good.
It's Fabian's a big one of them over there, who's never not traveling. Which
I was talking to you. I said it's the race to the
I'm
threes.
gonna give Adam his phone back since I put him on the spot.
you can tell me
Race to the
nervous.
threes.
Race to the
Race to the
threes.
threes.
Race to the threes. Well,
That's a big jump.
I
I know
don't
that's
think,
a
I don't
lot.
think it's going to happen this year.
No,
but,
I really don't think so either. But
But I
I
think
was gonna say
it
we should start a bet on it. You know, like I hear guys bumping around about race to the threes, and I'm like, do you know how much horsepower it takes?
oh, it's a lot.
And then the fact that we're driving bricks.
Yeah.
I mean, we're about as
Well, we
aerodynamic
also
as a
got
wall.
SFI issues, so that's a whole other side of it. But,
Yeah,
I think this year in Pro Mod, I feel like everybody's going to be well into the fours this year. Which
Yes.
I feel like by the end of next season, we're going to see 30s. I think 30s are realistic.
I think
30
yeah,
realistic, yeah.
I don't think it's that far away.
Yeah.
So
But
if SFI
threes,
can keep up.
I think we're a good
That's the
lick
problem.
away.
Yeah,
Where are you guys stuck at? Like, where is the stopping point for legality on SFI for you?
Well, yeah, there's a lot of
Weight limits, 4,500 and 5.0. And
Why do that? And then
there's
so
the Pro Mod is 3,200 and 430. Yeah, I was gonna say
So
430.
the reason we're not trying to like dodge the question, but so everybody understands, if you go back and read, if you go to the NHRA site and read the NHRA's rules, and then you read SFI rules, you'll see that there's some gaps for us. It's not, number one, we race.
It's never meant for diesel.
It was never meant
Period.
for diesel. No, and the other side of it is we race 8th mile, not quarter mile, right? And everybody has asked us, they always joke with us and say, we should be running quarter mile. Well, there's reasons why we're not running quarter mile. It's not that we can't.
Mostly we don't
quarter
wanna
mile, but
Yeah.
mostly we don't want to die. SFI is not really caught up with the quarter mile side, safety wise. And man, I'm friends with all of our racers. I don't want to see somebody die just for SFI to wake up and make some changes. So I think that's going to come and it'll happen. But there is some gray areas in our rules, and we're pushing that envelope so fast that something's going to have to happen. And so we as an organization are trying to watch it and try to get as much advice as we can. But I think the issue really comes down to what is that 8th mile call, what time, where's that cutoff in Pro Mod, at what weight limit, what chassis serve.
And when do we move back to 1,000 feet too? Because that may be
And
part
that's
of it as
something
well.
else that's gonna happen too. And it's funny, everybody bashes, diesel. We should put them in quarter mile. We should make them race quarter mile. Well, as the NHRA went faster, what do they do?
Got shorter and shorter.
Yeah.
What do they do? So there's a reason for that. And of course, it's always the guys that sit on the couch and race from there that make those statements.
It's fine. They make calculators for that anyway. Just run the 8th and just do the math.
We had that guy on Facebook.
Yes.
Wasn't that conversation
Yes.
about that between you,
It was.
LaVon, and some guy yelling about quarter mile? And how
Yeah,
he
said
that was a fun
we
one.
weren't worthy because we didn't run quarter mile. Well,
What?
yeah.
Yeah.
Batteries down.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh, well,
God.
just like that, it's over.
Well, everything else is on. We just lost one live
me,
feed.
just
Oh.
There's no end.
Well, it's been
But-
good.
It's been
Yeah,
good.
It's
I
been
think.
great. Thanks guys for taking the time.
Thank
Absolutely.
you.
Thanks
Yes,
for
sir.
having us.
Yeah, you guys roaming the show.
Yeah, we're gonna walk around, go visit
I have to
some
go back
other
to my
people.
booth.
Yeah, you gotta go back to work.
Yeah,
I'm gonna try and make it over to the Apex building.
There you go. I've actually, 18 years here. I've never been.
I've never been over there, but I've
there.
heard you want to go upstairs first and then go downstairs. And there's a big difference. That's all I've been told.
Where is that at? What y'all?
Apex.
Over at the Sands. Which I got to talk to Dustin from Industrial over there.
Yeah.
They're building us a motor for next year. Got some things maybe happening next year.
Cool.
That's awesome.
That's awesome.
I haven't had
guys.
time to think about next year things yet, really.
I got my
It's still
final
warm enough
race
that this year is this
Saturday. We get back midnight Friday and going straight to North Carolina to do our last race
You racing Saturday at North?
at Diesel Truck Wars.
Yeah. Some of my folks are going to be there. We're not racing, obviously. But
We'll see how fast the truck will go in the 8th. Like I said, Rudy's we was paddling and seeing, make it run, see what it does.
that's a fun little race,
Yeah.
from what I understand.
Winterize it and see what happens. Got some plans. Might be
It's,
that truck, might be a different one.
I think that's my goal for
making its rounds.
before snow
Is it?
flies. I'm trying to go for 550
Paul,
on the
guys.
board.
They're going to be awesome, man.
I think
Cool.
it's got it.
All right, guys.
Yeah,
enjoyed
thanks,
it.
guys. It's fun.
Thank
Yeah, signing off. Exactly.
Hour and 35 minutes. You guys are long.